Assalamu alaikum girls. Welcome to week 4 of term 2. This week we are continuing with chapter 10 and we will be covering section 10.2, which is on the effective use of the internet. You will find that many of the terms covered in this chapter you are already familiar with because you are strong users of the internet. So this might be just a recap for you. In this lesson, these are the following objectives we are trying to cover. We are trying to understand the basic fundamentals of how the internet runs and works. What is the difference between internet, intranet and www? What is storage in the cloud? What is HTTP, URL, FTP and all these words? How is a web address structured? And what is a web browser and a search engine? So now itself you know that many of these words you have heard before. The success criteria that you need to aim for in this lesson is be able to at least define the terms HTTP, HTTPS, URL, FTP and ISP and be able to explain the use of a web browser and a search engine. And as an extension, you could also be able to differentiate between internet, intranet and www. As a starter, I have a search engine activity for you. There are some words here. Try to find these words as an image search on any search engine of your choice. You can use Google or Yahoo or Bing, whatever you are familiar with, and see what results you get. Now try on another laptop of your sibling or friend and try what result they are getting. Are your results the same? How many results are you getting? And in what time are you getting these results? Note these below, you will find them very interesting. The first thing we are discussing as part of 10.2 is the difference between internet, intranet and www. The difference between internet and intranet has actually already been covered in chapter 4 and you had this for term 1 exam, that the internet is a public network while an intranet is a private network within an organization or a building, and the intranet has much more security features and proxy server than an internet. So what is www? When we say www, what do we mean? When you say www, it is only one part of the internet which users can access using a web browser. And this www is actually a massive collection of web pages based on HTTP. Now let's look at what is cloud storage. You must have heard of the word cloud before because now cloud storage services like OneDrive and Google Drive are very popular. If you use iCloud on your phone, this is also another example of a cloud storage. If you've used iCloud, you know that when you change your iPhone from one phone to another, you are not losing any of the data as long as all your data is synced on iCloud. What does that mean? That means there is a storage location which is online where your files are backed up. This means that your files can be accessed from any device because the file is not stored on the device alone. The file is stored in the cloud location. And any device that has an internet connection can access your file. Also, data is usually stored on more than one server so that even if there is any maintenance or repair, your data is still accessible. OneDrive, Google Drive, iCloud are all examples of cloud storage services. What's the advantage of doing like this? What's the advantage of storing on the cloud instead of storing on the local device? The advantage is that you can access your file from any location using the internet connection, because using an internet connection you can connect online from anywhere. Also, you don't have to carry the storage device with you. If you had stored your files on a hard drive, you will have to carry around the hard drive whenever you need that file. But when you store your file on OneDrive or iCloud, as long as you have internet connection, any device can access your file. Another advantage is that you are offered a backup solution, which is the example I was giving earlier. If your iPhone gets damaged, for example, but you had already stored all your files on the iCloud, When you buy a new iPhone, you can just log in into iCloud and you still have access to all your files. The files did not get destroyed with the phone. Also, cloud services offer you some kind of unlimited storage capacity. Disadvantage is that when your files are stored on the cloud, which is online, the files can be accessible for hacking if the cloud service provider is not secure. Also, how fast you can access your files will depend on having a good quality internet connection. And also, for example, Google Drive with a Gmail account gives you around 10 or 15 GB of free storage, but if you need more than that, you need to pay for it. This is another disadvantage. We have task 1 here, which is a past paper question. There is a music festival attended by very large crowds each year, and large amounts of data is collected by the organizers of the music festival who want to store it in the cloud. What are 4 advantages of storing data in the cloud? And also, organizers are worried that there are drawbacks of storing data in the cloud, and what are 3 disadvantages. So, you need to give 4 advantages of cloud and 3 disadvantages of cloud. This is a sample of the answer given for this past paper question. An advantage is that it has greater storage capacity, data can be sent directly from any device, you can access the data from any device, you can easily increase the storage capacity, and data can be analyzed quickly. A disadvantage, as we know, is that security issues are there for personal data. The owner can lose control over it. The cost of storing might be restrictive, and the devices need to be connected via a good internet connection all the time if you want to store data on the cloud. Some terms that you need to know as part of section 10.2 start off with HTTP. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. These are actually rules which are followed when transferring information across the internet. HTTP contains a set of rules that are agreed between the sender and the recipient when data is being transferred. Let's look at an example of HTTP. I have a BBC website open in front of me, and this is telling me that the protocol used to load this page is HTTPS. So, this is an example of HTTP. It is the rules followed when transferring information across the internet. And this S actually stands for secure. This is the more secure version of HTTP. It is often denoted by a padlock symbol. You can see the padlock symbol here. If you click on it, it says that your connection is secure. And this HTTPS is used when sensitive or private data is being transferred. Another term you need to know is URL. What's a URL? URL is the address of a website. It can be in the form of numbers like this or in the form of alphanumeric like this. For example, the entire URL of this page is like this: https www.bbc.com/news/ukpolitics. That's the full address of the web page. What's a hyperlink? A hyperlink is a link which allows you to navigate between web pages on a website. So, if you click over here, this is a hyperlink, and this hyperlink will takes you to another web page. Another term you need to know is ISP, or Internet Service Provider. An ISP is a company which provides internet access to users, and normally there would be a monthly fee for this. The 2 ISPs we have in Qatar is Ooredoo and Vodafone, and these provide us with internet connections for a fee, and the broadband connections will tend to use a fiber optic because this is faster and has increased bandwidth. The last term you need to know is FTP, which is File Transfer Protocol. File Transfer Protocol is again another protocol like HTTP. It's a set of rules. It's used when you transfer files from one computer to another. An example is FileZilla. What is the structure of a web page? Like the BBC example we saw, all web pages or URLs start with HTTP or any protocol that's used, : and 2/. then the website address, followed by the path, followed by the file name. So, for example, if you look at the page we have open here, you have http with colon and slash, followed by the web address, followed by the file, and followed by the path. This is how, followed by the path and then the file name. This is how all web addresses or URLs are structured. Let's try to recap all the terms we did so far. What is a URL? A URL is used by a web browser to access specific websites. A hyperlink is allowing you to navigate between web pages, and HTTP is the rule followed when transferring information across the computer. HTTP with an S is denoted by a padlock symbol. ISP is the company that provides internet access, and FTP is the protocol used to transfer files. The other two terms you need to know as part of this lesson is web browser and search engine. So, what is a web browser? A web browser is any software that allows the user to display a web page on your computer screen. It basically translates the HTML pages that you can view then on the website. They also do other functions such as having a home page, keeping track of your history, giving you the option to go back and forth between web pages, and so on. Examples of web browsers include Google Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge. These are all examples of web browsers. Search engines, on the other hand, is not a software. Search engine is actually a website where you are allowed to type in some keywords and the search engine will find specific data or information for you. The more detailed you make your search, the more accurate your results will be. Google search engine, Yahoo search engine, Bing search engine are all examples of search engines on the internet. Let's try to recap what a web browser and a search engine is. A web browser is a software which allows you to view HTML pages. You are doing web authoring in HTML now. So, you are very well aware that web pages are basically HTML pages, and web browser allows you to view them by going to the web address or URL. A search engine is an engine that allows you to key in specific keywords and find information or data relevant to you, and examples include Yahoo search engine, Google search engine, Bing, and so on. That's all for today, girls. Hope you have a good week ahead of you. Assalamu alaikum.